Alright, welcome back everyone. This is Shadow Drake, and now we're gonna get to probably the hardest part, and that is the dish scanning. As you can tell that I have a lot of dishes. And that is because I want to go over them little by little first before we get to actual techniques. So, when you have to scan down a trader, let's go with the basics. You will see here, this 90 degree is actually this small dish right here. And the only reason I call it 90 degree is because that's where it's facing, the data port is facing. So just keep in mind that my nomenclature is like that. Doesn't matter, not really, and I'll go over that, but in the moment. So first things first, when you try to scan down a trader, you need to rotate your dishes until you get less than 2 degree difference from your contact. And that's when you try to contact someone, you will see that a trader, yeah, whatever, you need a threshold. You need 181 watts for 83 seconds. So it'll take that much to scan them, to contact them. And this tells you how much of your power is actually reaching your contact. The closer you are, the better, the more power you get. And of course, it just tells you the dish and about how long it'll take to contact. And when you hit interrogate, you'll start interrogating. But now this is a 7x7, and so let me get to that in a little bit. For example, this meteor munchies, that's 52 degrees off. You see that I need at least 28 watts for my small dish to contact them, of which only 11 watts from the 200 I'm throwing out there are only reaching him. Therefore, not enough energy, cannot interrogate. And so I will show you an example for how to contact them a little bit later, but first of all, let's go down to the dish sizes. The small dishes can pretty much contact the 3x3s, and you need a really good alignment. I'm not entirely sure what the number is because it does vary. This contact needs 28 watts, but the next one might need 20. It could need 30, could need a little bit more. The small dish can handle it, and depending on how much you need, depends on how close you have to get. All the tiers are like that, and so while the small dish can contact the small tiers, the medium tier, and the large dish, the far tier, sometimes the next higher up can roll low enough for the smaller tier to be able to contact them. And that's why you see that this small dish can potentially contact the medium tier. But now keep in mind that has to be almost exact. So let's see. If 2 degrees is still good. And now you can see 2 degrees is still perfect scanning. But let's get that off some more. So now we're 4 degrees. I'm still barely capable of contacting him, so let's just do a tiny bit more. And whoops, already too big of a difference, cannot contact him. And so as you can see, you have to get almost exactly precise to do it. And that'll be the same for the medium dish, scanning down a far tier trader. Assuming that it can even see, yep, look, you can see him. He's still trying to interrogate him, and that's gonna get there extremely slowly, and I believe that's already maxed out. Whereas the large dish pumps out a lot of juice, and is probably gonna have the easiest time, but will still need to get pretty close. So before I go too far into this, let's talk about the dishes. So the first one is the small dish. It can push out maximum 200 watts, and the minimum is 50. So it is meant to be a very low power dish, extremely fast for the rotation, and you can basically fit it on a basic cable network and not have to worry about blowing anything up. The next size up is the medium dish. This one can push out 7,500 watts, so you will start to need heavy cables unless you want to permanently run your dish at like less than 5,000 watts to stay on light cables. You sacrifice some scanning power, but you have an overall stronger dish. It does, however, take longer to rotate into position compared to the small dish. But keep in mind that this extra power that's being pushed out, even if it is off center for a 3x3, it can contact any 3x3 from pretty much any position. And finally, we have the large dish, the big one, the one that if you enclose, wow, you definitely build a big hangar. It can pop out a whopping 50,000 watts, 50 kilowatts. That's basically half the power for heavy cables already. Now, with that much power comes such little speed. If you try to rotate this dish, good luck. You're going to be waiting for quite some time. So, typically, you would want to mirror this dish to a medium so that as you adjust the medium, the large dish will get there eventually. And just like the previous tier, a large dish pointed at any direction can just about scan any close and medium tier trader. However, you still need to get close enough to contact the far tier. And the fact that it's super slow means you have quite a lot of waiting to do. And so now let me get to something interesting I did notice. All of my dishes are pointed to asteroid assayers with a 0-degree contact. And all my large, medium, and this dish are all pointed in the same 90-degree orientation. And it's just the way I built it because I wasn't paying attention. And as you can see, 269 degrees horizontal, 11 degrees vertical is exactly how much I need for that trader. Gonna skip ahead a little bit, and you can see that the large dish perfectly mirrors that. Now, when I get to the medium dish, however, something changes. 269 and 17 degrees. Why is this? I honestly do not know. I think I kind of want to build another one. In fact, I probably want to just spawn another one just to see if that is true. Satellite dish. You're right here. So let's do that. Oh, come on. This is going to be kind of a pain. Okay. I'm just gonna quick build stuff because no need to worry about that just yet. So let's cable it up. Let's see, it's 269, 17. You do need a data connection, and I am going to go this way for that because I want to get a little bit lazy. And so while that's spinning, let's talk about another thing about this. This is just to go. Let's go back. That's the other one. Nope. You see my medium dish? Perfect 0 degree. Where's my large dish? Also perfect 0 degree. And now what these dishes are, they're pointing at different orientations. And you can see, oh, this one is set to scan the other guy. 11 degrees. And 179, 89, 269. Basically, they're at 90-degree offsets, which is what I expected. And yes, they do have the perfect orientation for calling that down. Let's see, where's the other? Ooh, I probably should have renamed them. First medium dish. Let's go with that. Let's find you. Okay, that's the first medium dish. You're the second one. Yep, see? Perfect. 0 degrees. So, it looks like regardless of orientation, the dishes will come out just okay. Okay, I don't need this dish here, so bye-bye. You have lived your usefulness. Alright. That covers the dishes. That covers that it doesn't matter the orientation, except that the medium dishes are weird. Don't know why. So let me give you a brief overview how they kind of work. So, how the game generates a trader is somewhere in the world they are giving us specific coordinate. And so for this asteroid assayer, it looks like it's... Let me jump up here. It looks like it's somewhere up there in the sky. They're giving a unit vector, so let's say asteroid assayer is over there. So when the dish is pointed to roughly whatever that point in space, that's where they are. That's where all their signal strength is properly reaching them. This information is hidden to us unless you cheat, look at the at your world files or anything. But every trader will have a random spot. Meteor Munchies could be right there. He's actually right there. That's my cheat. Don't worry about that. Meteor Munchies could be right there. The 6x6 could be over there. Whatever. And that's what the whole scanning minigame is about. You're just adjusting this to find out exactly where they are. There are different techniques to that. To go with that, the coordinates are based on the GPS world coordinates. So how it is, at least in Venus, I have to check the other planets, the positive Z direction is in the 180 mark. The more you walk towards 180, the more Z goes up. X is the 270 direction. It's kind of weird, but that's positive. So 180 and 270. So 0 is negative Z, 90 is negative X, positive Z, positive X, and Y is vertical movement. See? Up, Y, just like that. And so because of that, when a trader generates a signal ID, the Y value will never be negative. However, X and Z coordinate will kind of be different. They could be negative, they could be positive, and that just affects where they are. So I'll go more into details on that later, but that's just kind of how it works. It picks an XYZ, it's a point in space, you scan. Fairly simple. Now the next thing I need to discuss is signal noise. So let's get rid of the other extra dishes because I don't want them to kind of muck up stuff. Now, according to the Stationeer devs, there is a noise on this contact angle, and this is what I mean. You see right now it's 52 degrees from contact. If I were to tell this dish to go to 259 and back to 269, and we wait for 3x3 to finish up, and we wait. See? Now I'm at 49 degrees. I had done zero motion whatsoever, and yet I went from 52 to 49. This noise can be extremely troublesome. So you need to be aware that even a dish back in the initial condition can have quite a lot of noise. If I remember right, they said somewhere around 20% noise variation. I don't think that applies to this angle. That might apply to the math behind the mechanics, but what this means is anytime you remove your dish, you have new noise. So it does make this a little bit harder. See, now I'm at 53 degrees. So now let's talk about some scanning techniques. We're going to try to scan down Meteor Munchies with this dish. All I know is 53 degrees. So scanning technique 1 is to pick a direction and see how this changes. So let's do the Y. Let's go to 30 degrees. Let's see what that does. Okay, see, we went down to 29. That's actually a very good change. So knowing that, we can probably try another 20. That's good. And so the point of this technique is to use fairly big motions to bring it down. If you don't get as much of a variance, try going backwards. See, now I'm at 15. Now I went back up to 17, so theoretically I did worse. Let's go back to where I started. Okay, so I'm at 14. You know, that could be the noise. So now let's try a different direction. Let's do 279. Okay, that was worse. Ooh, that was much better. So I'm at 6 degrees. Now keep in mind, 2 degrees is perfect. So let's see how much a big change does. That didn't seem to adjust it, so is it because I did such a big change, or is it because I'm close enough? And this is kind of where this method kind of falls flat. You're not going to get extremely close, and if your dish is really needs to be close to your computer so that you can see. Because now I'm making small adjustments and constantly checking to see what happens. Okay, see, I'm getting really, really close. I went bad. I don't know if that's noise, so let's do this. Let's try 51. Okay, perfect. 2 degrees. Oh, wait. I'm a little bit off, so a little bit up. There we go. 1 degree. Perfect. This is a perfect scan time for meteor munchies. And so, this will help you find something. Now I have this one. Up. This had the perfect scan. So 53 degrees vertical was my answer. I got to 52. That's good. 344 degrees horizontal. 254. If we add 90 to this, subtract 90 from this. 344 minus 90. That is 254. Perfect. I scanned the dish. I scanned the trader down. I can now contact him and bring him down. So that's one method. Let me re-roll the trader. Let's re-roll traders. Alright, now let's do the same thing with Asteroid. We'll use another method. So method number 2 is going to be kind of tougher to use, but we'll be working with that green bar. So this kind of requires you to kind of judge how fast this green bar fills. So 1, 2, 3. So it takes about 3. If I go back, it's 1, 2. Okay, it's filling a little bit faster. So when you're really far off, judging how quickly this green bar fills lets you know you gotta be getting closer. See, that's kind of like 1.75. Yeah, see that angle is still pretty bad. That seems better because it's filling in roughly 2. That's still kind of bad. Let's try this. That definitely was better. Oh, see? Almost an instant fill. Now that you're to the point where it's an almost instant fill, you can now go back to the other method where we start adjusting the angle to get a precise fill for this guy. So, that would be method number 2 for scanning. Alright. Regenerate. Because I like to work with new traders. Alright, so here's the other method, which honestly does not really work with a 3x3. So let me find a farther tier trader to do this. Let's disconnect everyone but my medium dish, and this is kind of where and I don't need that. I don't need that. Now it's just my medium dish. Alright, so my medium dish is the only one that's there. Oh, interestingly enough, Astromart is right there. Okay. So, method number 3 kind of is when you're going to try to scan a higher size with a smaller dish. So for a dish that moves slow, you kind of want to use the smaller dish to approximate what would be the good one. So as we can see here, let's say I want galactic metallurgy. So I'm 34 degrees off and 269 and 17. So let's match you up. 269 17. And so what we're going to do is we need to find that 7x7 with our small dish. And this is kind of where you can get a little bit, it could get a little bit more difficult. Oh, let's think about that. See, blind working with this is kind of rough, so we need a little bit of help from our medium dish. So if we cut the power down, well, unfortunately that 7x7 is still there. Come on now, work with me. You know what? No regeneration. What I need is for that trader to drop off the face of the earth. Really would have liked if it was a worse tier. Probably should also move my computer. Alright, come on now. Drop off this face of the earth. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Alright. So, what I like to do for a smaller dish, you can use a smaller dish to kind of approximate where you need to be. But you kind of need to have a good starting point. So let's go back to 45 and 270. And this is going to be kind of hard because the small dish puts out such little power compared to the medium dish that it'll be really hard for him to see it. Yeah, very hard to see it. So see, I'm 60 degrees off, so obviously I'm pretty far. So what I do is decrease the power of my bigger dish until I lose the contact. This also requires being pretty close. See, I lost the contact. So now, let's pick a direction. 260. So I'm moving horizontally 260. It didn't seem to pick him back up. And it's still there at 600 watts. So that either that wasn't a big enough change or that wasn't the right direction. So let's move the vertical down. See, so the vertical moving down got the trader to come back. So at least I know that heading down on the vertical is the right decision. So now let's see if I can use going up on the horizontal. Will the trader drop off? And so what you are doing is purposefully limiting the power of a dish to figure out what rotation you need to be doing to potentially scan them down. This isn't a very perfect method, but as you can see, they dropped off finally. Somewhere around, what, 300? So I went from 260, yeah, about 270 to 300, and they dropped off. So that kind of comes with the whole thing of which it's got to be somewhere between 270 and 300. You know, we can start approximating. Maybe the best horizontal is 285, because keep in mind my power is already at 500 watts. Getting down to 500 watt to the lowest power setting is your goal because it properly estimates it. So this can work with the dish you're working on, brought to low power. It can also work with a smaller dish because by nature they push out less juice. So if 35 was about right and 285 seemed to be the correct number, can I see him in the small dish at any point in time?
Waste tank caution.
The answer is no. It's very likely that this small dish is not pushing out enough energy. And so, yeah, this method will work, but honestly it works better between the large dish and the medium dish because, let's just be honest, between 200 watts and 500 watts, that's still nothing. The large dish can get down to, at minimum, did I say that? 5,000 watts, I believe. No, 2,000 watts. Which is very easily capable by the medium dish. So let's go back to the medium dish. So we got this approximate location. So now that we got the rough, wow, 63. Now that we got the rough directions that we should be moving, we can start to go back to the other methods to try to see if we can pick up a better spot. See, that was 51 degrees. I'm really curious what the coordinates of the 7x7 is, because it's gonna be a rougher method. It's 44 degrees. And the closer the vertical gets to the bottom, the harder it is to actually truly figure them out. The traders that are close to the very top of the horizontal, you know, almost to the very top, or also near the horizontal, are extremely, extremely difficult to scan down. They just are by nature. So, it's gonna take a significant amount of guesswork, to be honest, to kind of get this one down. This method works for traders that are kind of like in the middle, but traders that are really far up or down, ugh, you need a lot more help than that. So we're gonna use the final method, and this requires a tablet with the configuration tab. So the final method requires you looking at the dish and what you want. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, Astromart, you're a pain in the butt. Okay. Alright, -1 now. Perfect. Oh. I was doing some other tests. I could have sworn I reset my dish. Apparently I did not. I'll get into that later. Alright, so we can see my 7x7. The power is reaching my contact is 591. The final method is to do an adjustment. For example, let's move this 5, but you need to note this. So 591, 592. Oh, it went down. 585. So let's go back 5. We should get roughly 591 again. See, 591. So now we know that I actually need to move in the horizontal direction. 597. Still a very slow gain. 603. So what if I move my vertical up 5? So it's at 603. Oh, that's bad. That's a worse direction. So with this final method, it requires the configuration tab. You want to note how much of the power you're putting out, see how much is reaching your contact, and adjust your rotation based on that. The caveat to this, though, is you need to make sure you are seeing the absolute correct contact. Because if this ever changes to something else, this can completely throw you off. I did not pay attention to what the other one was. 629. 636. This is... This is why traders near the horizontal, the complete upper hemisphere, and the bottom are absolutely a pain in the butt to find. I should have picked a different one. I should have re-rolled him. But you know what? This is a good sample observation. Because this is a pain. I'm actually getting concerned that I might never figure him out without cheat hacking, figuring out where he is. I'm doing big motions. I really, really do not know. Don't like this trader already. It's extremely unlikely that it is going to be at the 0, but I gotta give it a try. Wait. 636, 643, 650, 658, 666, 674, 683, 92, 702, 12, 22, 33. This is probably the most annoying method, but really helps for these weird... Look, see what I mean? I'm at 14, and suddenly I'm getting much better. 1389, 1655. So I must be getting extremely close because this is getting significantly better. $40.66. Let's see. I'm at 25, 145. Now I'm curious. I really am curious to see if the small one picks him up. Oh, yeah, see? Small one picked him up. See, this is what I was talking about. When the small dish can pick up a higher tier, you've got to be getting very close. Ooh, wow, 8 degrees. That's pretty close. And so what I like to do is drop the small one's power down. Basically, repeat the same process. Up. And since I am now at the minimum power and still can see him, this will help out more properly approximate him. So 155. I don't think that'll work. Come on, drop off. I must be... Yep, it dropped off, you see? So 195 was too bad. So that was obviously the worst part. Where was I at again? 145. Let's see where he drops off on the other direction. Oh. So 140... He dropped off at around... 115. That was a 180, 115? Yeah, 145 sounds about right. Which makes sense. Alright, back to the other method. Yep, getting better. And you can see, the only reason I say the watts reaching contact is a better method is, it's, while the noise does affect it, it is not affected as bad. You can definitely use it to approximate where a trader is, and clearly I still needed to adjust my vertical. Oh, see what I mean? 7,500. 7,500 means I gotta be perfect. There you go. Boom. And so while I could do the same thing for Astromart, the reason I would want to do the same thing for Astromart is because the large dish is stupid slow. So in that case, I will use my medium dish, probably bring the power down, see when Astromart drops off. He dropped off already. Come on. There you go. So he's back. 63, he's still there. 62, still there. 61, still there. 6,000, still there. 59, still there. 58, still there. 7, still there. Wow. 56, he drops off. Alright, so 57. So I'm at 33 and 157. Let's try going up. Up, he dropped off. Up was wrong. Could be wrong. But then again, we saw how vertical really screws things up. So let's see. If I go down on vertical, you see he's still there. Let's try dropping it down. 56, he's still there. 55, still there. 54, there. 53, there. 52, there. 51, there. And so on and so forth. But you get the point. This method of approximating just kind of gets you the rough general direction you should be turning. Ideally, you don't want vertical to be really close to the ground or really close to the sky, because as you saw, it really, really, really messes up how you can track it properly. Oh, that was the wrong direction. Because I saw him drop off. See, he's back. And you see, if you've been watching my Trade Ropa series, you see me kind of do this method where I use a smaller tier dish, drop the power as it's rotating. If the trader comes back mid-rotation, I know I'm going the right direction. Yep, still there. See, I'm getting pretty close. So, 127, 23. And I'm at 3,600. Let's see how close that is. Still pretty darn far. But yeah, this kind of shows you how to scan down a trader. The last method with the config tab is very recent, and the only reason it's recent is because you are able to change the trader contact filter to track only a specific trader. The problem is, though, we don't have any visibility as to what their signal ID is yet in-game, other than to get pretty darn close. And see, the 7x7 is still the closest trader compared to that 3x3 or the 6x6, which... Did he go away? Yeah, or the 6x6. And so, because of that, more is required for that. Alright guys, so this is what I got. Thank you for watching this absolutely fail to video of me showing you 4 methods. And next time I'm going to go a lot more in depth. There's going to be more math involved. And I'll show you a way that I have found with the assistance of someone from the Discord community who helped with some math. And I'll show you a more precise, probably the precise way to track him, but it's not going to be very feasible. Alright, thank you for your time. I'll see you in part 2 for this if you want.